John Maynard Keynes, Essays in Persuasion. Step back to the year 1919, into the grand halls of Versailles, where world leaders are gathered to seal a peace treaty that will end World War I. Amidst the political negotiations stands John Maynard Keynes, a young British economist whose insights are about to transform not just the economic landscape of a shattered Europe but the world itself. Essays in Persuasion delves into Keynes' pioneering ideas about economic intervention, challenging the established norms of laissez-faire capitalism. Here, you'll explore how his bold vision for government involvement in economies laid the groundwork for modern economic policies and institutions. Through an exploration of economic justice, the balance of state and market, and the timeless pursuit of prosperity, enjoy this engaging journey into Keynes' world, filled with powerful arguments for a better, more equitable global society, as relevant now as they were a century ago.
Echoes of Versailles. Step into the grandeur of Versailles in 1919, where a global tapestry of leaders is woven together to pen the treaty marking the end of World War I. Amid the luxurious setting lurks a grim reality: Europe is ravaged, with its landscapes etched by war and its societies struggling under immense loss. Over 20 million lives have been claimed, leaving economies in disarray. Within this tapestry, a young and insightful British economist, John Maynard Keynes, sits with an intense focus, his concern evident as he observes the delicate proceedings. In this historical moment, the war has done more than draw new borders, it has altered the dynamics of global interaction and economic function, challenging long-held beliefs in the gold standard and free trade. This era marks a shift towards governments playing a pivotal, hands-on role in economic management, a necessity born out of wartime activities like rationing and industrial control. The dawn of peace raises crucial questions about the future role of the state in economies, questions that haunt Keynes as he navigates these transformative times. Keynes' experiences at Versailles would soon crystallize into his seminal work, The Economic Consequences of the Peace, a profound critique of the treaty that would launch him into the international spotlight. His writings, though a century old, remain strikingly relevant today. The themes he explored, economic disparity, government intervention versus free markets, global collaboration, resonate in our present-day economic discourse. As you journey through Keynes' insights, you'll unearth not just economic theories, but fervent arguments for constructing a more equitable, thriving world. His vision offers a lens through which to view a defining historical pivot, shaping the tapestry of the world we inhabit now. Economic justice in focus. As the ink dried on the Treaty of Versailles, the profound unease felt by Keynes laid the groundwork for his groundbreaking insights. In The Economic Consequences of the Peace, he warned that the severe reparations imposed on Germany were not just unjust but perilous. He predicted that an economically crippled Germany would breed resentment and instability, eventually nurturing the rise of extremism. The 1930s validated his foresight when Germany, burdened by economic collapse, became fertile ground for fascism, culminating in World War II. Keynes' lessons aren't confined to the past. They resonate today when international sanctions and war reparations echo in the news. Take the recent sanctions on Russia post-Ukraine invasion, designed to curb aggression but risking economic isolation and heightened enmity, a balancing act Keynes would have recognized. Economic policies wield power that transcends balance sheets, influencing national destinies and impacting everyday life. When protests erupt in countries mired in economic woes, they illustrate the human toll of financial decisions. Yet, Keynes was no harbinger of doom. He cherished the transformative potential of smart economic policies to cultivate peace and prosperity. His ideas underpinned the founding of the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, institutions committed to fostering global economic stability. Keynes illuminated how economics and politics intertwine. So, when debates about trade or foreign aid arise, remember his enduring caution: economic choices bear deep, human repercussions. Thus, the economic consequences of the peace transcends its era, urging us to strive for economic justice as the bedrock of true peace. In addressing modern challenges like climate change and inequality, committing to economic justice benefits all, not just a select few. Keynes' Economic Revolution. Imagine emerging from the shadows of World War I into a world where economies were desperately trying to rebuild without clear guidance. This was a time when the staunch belief was that markets, left alone, would mend themselves, often at a great human toll. John Maynard Keynes dared to question this passive approach, arguing for a more hands-on governmental role in managing economic ups and downs. This departure from the status quo wasn't just bold, it reshaped economic thinking. Keynes introduced the groundbreaking concept of countercyclical spending, advocating for increased government expenditure during economic slumps to jumpstart growth, contrary to the then popular belief that spending should be slashed in hard times. This idea was transformative, as the typical belt-tightening measures only shrank struggling economies further. Equally revolutionary was his concept of sticky wages, which explained why wage adjustments didn't follow declining prices, leading to unemployment and prolonged economic distress. As traditional colonial empires disintegrated and modern nation-states emerged, Keynes' ideas provided a fresh lens for viewing national economies. Consider how unthinkable it was then for a central bank to actively manage the money supply or target inflation, concepts that are now taken as givens in economic policy. Keynes' contributions laid the foundations for modern monetary strategies, such as fiscal stimulus and quantitative easing. His work is a constant reminder that economic theories must adapt to real-world conditions. Today's discussions around digital currencies and international supply chains continue to find inspiration in the adaptive, forward-thinking approach that Keynes pioneered, proving that innovative ideas can boldly steer us through ever-evolving financial landscapes. Keynes' Revolution. Step into the early 20th century, a time when laissez-faire capitalism thrived, leaving behind a trail of hazardous work environments and grim debtors' prisons. The devastating aftermath of war and economic instability revealed the weaknesses of this hands-off economic philosophy. Enter John Maynard Keynes, a bold thinker who challenged this norm by arguing that unregulated markets often lead to inefficiency, inequality, and instability. His revolutionary idea wasn't to turn to socialism, but to craft a balanced approach, managed capitalism. Here, government intervention would correct market failures, control currency, steer investments, and ensure a fair distribution of wealth. Keynes' vision materialized in transformative policies throughout the Western world. In the United States, Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal brought Keynesian ideas to life with Social Security, unemployment insurance, and massive public works projects. These initiatives reshaped the country's landscape and continue to impact lives today. Across the Atlantic, post-World War II Britain embraced Keynes' concepts through the welfare state, notably with the creation of the National Health Service in 1948, making healthcare accessible to all. France, too, adopted Keynesian thought in its post-war recovery, using indicative planning, with government, businesses, and unions collaborating on economic goals, to fuel 3 decades of impressive growth. Globally, Keynes' ideas shaped the economic frameworks that governed the post-war world. The Bretton Woods system and today's International Monetary Fund are testaments to the belief in active economic management and international collaboration. Keynes' revolutionary approach has left an indelible mark, demonstrating that careful guidance can lead to an era of stability and shared prosperity. Keynesian Blueprints. During the challenging era of the Great Depression, Keynes introduced an intriguing yet radical concept: governments should actively spend to generate employment, even at the cost of accruing debt. This transformative idea of using public works to combat economic stagnation redefined how nations addressed unemployment. Keynes believed that in times of recessions, governments must intervene when businesses and consumers are inactive. He famously suggested that even paying people to dig and refill holes would stimulate the economy by injecting money back into society. Have you ever traveled across a U.S. interstate or visited a national park? These are the living legacies of Keynesian economics. The impact of such public projects extends beyond infrastructure. Take the Works Progress Administration, WPA, in the U.S., for instance. This initiative employed artists, writers, and performers during tough economic times, nurturing talent like Zora Neale Hurston, Jackson Pollock, and Willem de Kooning. The WPA not only preserved culture but also enriched it, creating an enduring impact by chronicling crucial historical narratives, such as the oral histories of formerly enslaved individuals. Across the globe, similar programs emerged. Mexico fostered public art through muralists like Diego Rivera, leaving a lasting artistic legacy. In the UK, the Council for the Encouragement of Music and the Arts blossomed into the Arts Council, underpinning British culture. Keynes' influence transcends cultural projects, laying the groundwork for contemporary social welfare systems. Consider Germany's all-encompassing health care, robust labor laws, and affordable education, all echoing Keynesian principles. This model aspires to shield workers and stabilize economies, reflecting a modern embrace of Keynes' visionary ideas. Keynes' bold future vision. Amidst the grim backdrop of the Great Depression, Keynes dared to envision a future filled with prosperity and leisure in his essay, Economic Possibilities for Our Grandchildren. He projected that by 2030, living standards in developed countries could be exponentially greater compared to 1930. For many, this is a reality. The conveniences and technologies of today would indeed astonish early 20th century folks. Yet Keynes' vision wasn't confined to wealth. He foresaw a time when survival struggles gave way to a life with only 15 work hours a week, allowing for plentiful leisure and personal growth, thanks to technological advances reducing the need for relentless labor. Reflecting on today's work-life dynamics, this might sound overly hopeful. Although productivity has surged, the 15-hour workweek is still a dream for most, amidst the hustle of modern economies. However, shifts like remote work, flexible hours, and discussions on shorter workweeks signal a gradual shift toward Keynes' world. Conversations around universal basic income and shorter workdays echo ongoing efforts to breathe life into his dream. Yet, a lingering question from Keynes remains: how to find purpose in leisure-filled lives freed from constant work. Today, with leisure activities like social media and streaming taking center stage, this remains a pertinent issue. Keynes also underestimated the depth of global inequality. For billions, basic economic security is still out of reach. The current challenge lies not just in economic advancement, but also in ensuring that progress benefits everyone. Additionally, climate change, a crisis beyond Keynes' foresight, intertwines with our economic future, demanding sustainable development while posing a formidable challenge to the envisioned economic possibilities for future generations.
John Maynard Keynes' work reverberates through the corridors of modern economic thought, echoing the crucial message that sound economic policies transcend mere fiscal considerations, touching profoundly on human destinies. His proposals for active government roles in economies, whether through counter-cyclical spending, public works, or managed capitalism, have redefined economic landscapes, inspiring modern social welfare states and institutions promoting global economic stability. As you reflect on this book's summary, consider how Keynes' ideas challenge us to pursue economic justice, ensuring prosperity's dividends are widely shared, especially in the face of today's global challenges like inequality and climate change. Keynes envisioned a future of greater leisure and reduced toil, urging us to prioritize the human aspect of economic progress. While some of his predictions remain aspirational, the enduring relevance of his ideas invites us to dream of a world where economic security and meaningful leisure can be realities for all, a testament to the transformative power of intelligent, compassionate economic policy.